Morning, guys and gals. Froggy here. This is a Frigidaire Affinity, and you can see the control panel there, and I'm getting the E68 message, which is a stuck button. And actually it's not a stuck button, it's this control panel. Circuit board is in back of these buttons, is just broken for some reason. I'm not a circuit board repair guy, so I ordered a replacement and I'm going to just replace it. It would work randomly for a few minutes to even a full cycle once in a while, but lately it's gotten worse and worse, and it would ignite okay. I would get heat, I would get shut off, I would get tumbling, I would get everything except the timing part of it was not working. So I'm pretty darn sure it's the circuit board. I'm going to try and show you how to get this to replace this without dragging this heavy dryer, which has a storage box bolted to it on the bottom. I really hate dragging this in and out because I have to move this table to get it in and out. And also I have to obviously remove and replace that ductwork. So everything that you're going to do is from the front here, except for sliding this top panel off. The top panel is held in place by a couple of security screws. It might look like it's a Phillips. It's not a Phillips. It's a security screw. God forbid somebody would want to repair one of these themselves. You know, the manufacturer is not too cool on that. They would rather have you hire somebody for $100 an hour or so to do the repair that you can do yourself. So Froggy's going to show you how to do it. Anyway, used my inspection mirror and a flashlight, looked behind there, saw these security screws, and I'm using a real small 1/4-inch drive ratchet, which fits in the back of this nifty little tool, which holds the bit. That's the security bit. So I think I'm going to be able to pop those two out, slide it back, and then do everything else from the front. Okay, I need 2 hands. So a couple of tips before you start. Unplug it, obviously. Maybe not so obvious to some of you. And remember, if you drop any of your tools or the screw behind there, you're going to be dragging it out anyway. So make sure that you've got good steady hands, or let somebody else do it who has good steady hands. I've got them both out. Now I'm just going to kind of shove and bang on this and see if I can get it to slide backwards. Need 2 hands. Well, it took me longer to say that than it did to slide it back. It's real easy. So please consider this if you do not have access to the back of your dryer. Try this little froggy tip. Okay, now I'm going to start taking some screws off here. There are other videos on the internet too that I would suggest you watch. 1 or 2 or 3 of them. I will often put in little tips that the other ones don't have, but there are other good videos. And looks like these also have, this has a security bit. Tricky, tricky, tricky Frigidaire. So of course I did drop one, but I've been there before, done that. So this is my little magnetic grabber tool, and I'll put a link in the comments so you can get yourself one of those. I definitely recommend everybody who's going to do any do-it-yourself have one of these, and also the one with the claw on the end to grab things that are not able to be grabbed with a magnet. Okay, now I got some more screws to take out. I decided to take that cover right off just to give me a little more access to these screws. Now, the next 2 screws are going to be right there where my middle finger's pointing, and the same thing on the other side, but it's covered up by that bundle of wires, but it's in the same location on both sides, okay? Okay, and now you have this loose, and you're going to disconnect all those wires, and they're quick disconnects on all of these. Sometimes there'll be a little tab you push. Okay? So I broke this little zip tie when I was prying it out, but I think it's pretty much unnecessary. The bundle is still together. If you didn't want to break that, you could try removing the circuit board from the front fascia first, and you can probably get at it from the other side. But I'm going to keep going this way, I think. I don't see any other ones that are going to be a problem. And then this circuit board is going to come off the front fascia. I am marking these power leads, plus for the red, minus for the black. That's kind of an electrical standard. You may or may not know that. You could put an R and a B if you wanted to do that. Because they look the same and they are not marked that I could see anywhere, which is, I don't know, another indication, I guess, that the manufacturer doesn't want you to fix this yourself. So mark those. So now it's off. So 4 screws plus 1 where the zip tie was, 2, 3, 4 or 5 connections, and it comes right off. Okay? And this is just like this wire. It goes from the circuit board to one of the switches probably, or maybe to that display. So now I got to wait for the part to come in, and I'm expecting it to come in today, and then I'm going to finish this off for you guys and gals. Okay, I'll be back. Okay, so we've got our new circuit board, and we're going to swap it over, and I'm going to show you how to do that. First, take that wire off. I'm just going to call it a jumper wire. I'm not sure what, that's probably the wrong term. I marked an X on the end that goes over there. I think it might not make any difference, but just in case it does, you can put it back the same way it came off. Now we're going to take off looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of those funny security screws. You might be able to get them off with a Phillips head. So you're going to lift that off. This is loose. That's some control buttons on the other side of that. So lift this off. Remember how it goes back in. That black one where my little finger is goes in that hole there, okay? These come loose, and these are going to get transferred. Well, maybe not. Looks like this snaps apart right here. Give me a second here, and I'm going to see how this comes apart. Okay, you've got some clips going either way. Here's a clip here going one way, and there's another clip there going the other way. And remember, this plastic is like, 10, 12, 14 years old, so you're going to have to be very gentle with some of these clips. If you break one, you might still be able to put it back together, but I'm going to use 2 hands and see what I can unclip here. Okay, so these 2 white pieces separate, and the circuit board stays with this one that I've got on top here. So it's just a couple of clips there and there. You don't have to worry about the 2-way clips because they're holding the circuit board onto this thing. So just a couple of clips, and then it's probably a tab that goes under on the other side. I found a couple of little broken pieces. This one I know where it comes from. This one I don't. It's kind of a cloudy colored. This one's a bright white colored. So the bright white colored comes right there. And the cloudy colored one, it looks to be like it's part of this, which is where you push on the button. See that move? Push on the button, and this piece pushes on the circuit board button. But it looks like they're all okay. So I'm not going to worry about it at this point. So now we're going to proceed to take this circuit board and transfer it onto that. So I'm laying them side by side, and the old one has the marks on here that I put on there. And, you know, some color differences, I don't think that's going to matter. The layout of them looks very good to be similar. So I think, you know, color difference there. I think we've got the right part. This is probably a little buzzer or bell or chime, and that's a little bit different. Just for the fun of it, let's see if I can give you a close-up of what this is. I'm not going to try and read it all out. Oh, good. It's Mexico, so it's not China. There you go. All right. Here we go. So as I suspected, some of these tabs are broken. I didn't even touch that, and I know it's broken already. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 of those. I think three might do okay. Try not to break these. I think when the screw's back in, they're going to hold this circuit board pretty flat to that piece of plastic. So all I did was snap very gently 1, 2, 3 in the center of your screen. That one's broken anyway. I might just pry it off so it doesn't fall down and get lost somewhere because it's not doing anything. So carefully put the two halves, I'll call them like clamshell halves, put the two halves together. The only tricky part was I had to twist this knob a little bit to line up with the part in the circuit board that it goes into. It's like 6-sided hex or something, but you can move this like 1/8 of an inch in any direction just to get it to set in there. I don't think it's indexed or anything. So now those two parts are together. I am going to put it back onto this front panel. Remember, that goes through that hole there. This I didn't touch. And we got like, what was it, 5 screws? 5 screws. Now where the big dial, where this shaft goes into that dial, it is indexed. It'll only go in one way, so you'll have to twirl that around a little bit till it matches up with the indexing where my middle finger is waving at right there. Obviously make sure all those little buttons from the front are going into those little holes. You see the little white right there in the middle of the screen is one of them. You have to go into those holes. Holes go into the circuit board. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we're going to put this jumper wire back in and move this up to the machine, this whole assembly. If you're keeping track of your screws, the longer ones go here and the shorter ones go down there. So I'm going to leave the top off and run a few loads just because if a circuit board is going to fail, it usually fails within the first few cycles of the circuit board. So it's not that big a deal to put the top back on. But yeah, I'm going to do a load of water. Well, first I'll test this, see if I can hear the heat come on and the gas valve open up, and see if it stays running for a while. And then I'm going to do a load of wash and test it out that way. Okay, here we go. I'm going to plug it in. I have not pre-staged this or anything, so I need 2 hands to get that plugger on the back. Here's the fun part. I have not tested this yet, so you and I are going to find out right at the same time. Let's see. Everything seems to light up the way it used to. Maximum heat, let's just put it on high, normal, and start it. Listen to it. I'm not sure if we'll hear the gas fire go off. I think I hear it. I'm going to just touch the exhaust with my hand and see if I can feel it's warm. This little step stool that I'm on is kind of creaky too, and it's making its own little sounds. Well, so far it's run for 1 minute. It hasn't shut itself off like the old one. I'm going to reach back here. Let me reach back here. I need 2 hands to get down to my knees. Yes, it's definitely warm, so if it goes 1 more minute, I'm going to shut it off, do a wash, and put it in the dryer. I'm used to a loud woof sound when the gas turns on from my spa heater, which is a much big burner than this is, so that's why I was kind of hoping for a sound that I didn't actually hear. There's 58. Okay, so let's do a wash. Okie dokie, so it is running like a champ. I have never seen this little display. That's usually the minutes left. And when you're doing towels, maybe that's what it's supposed to be. If anyone knows, put it down in the comments. Never seen that before. But this is my 3rd load, and they're all coming out dry, and it's not quitting on me in the middle of the load, leaving a damp load, so I'm going to call it fixed. Give me a thumbs up if this helps you out. Subscribe to my channel if you want more from Froggy. Click on the bell if you want notifications when I do a new video. Be safe, have fun. Froggy out, tumble away. Bye-bye.